1D, 2D, 3D, 4D, 5D, 6D, 7D, 8D, 9D. They are cool dimension that we didn't found except for 1D, 2D and 3D. They are the main ones that we know. But what's in between those dimension? What is 1.5D or 4.5D's now to be fair, I have not seen anyone talk about this. Either that or there are people talking about this in real life. Anyway, we all know what 1D to 3D are. 1 dimension which is a line with only 2 pathways, 2 dimension which you can now travel inside the square space, and 3 dimension which is what dimension we are living. So it's length, height and width. Simple. But what goes between it? Well, this is what I think any dimension with a half looks like with the whole number dimension. Now I know what you're thinking. What the kind of black magic is this? First off, some of these information are from Science File the IE, and second of all, yes I get it, these dimension might not be 100% true. It's impossible to figure out dimensions that ascend from 1D, 2D and 3D, cause we are living in the 4.5D or third dimension and our understanding for 4D to 9D is way of the scale. So feel free to say this is fake, this is just what I think it looks like. Anyway, as I mentioned before, we know what 1D, 2D and 3D is, but what about 4D? There's kinda 2 answers for this. 4th dimension is time or 4th dimension is a tesseract. Both of them are sort of correct because our understanding of dimension that ascend from 4D to 9D is way of the scale, and tesseract is the closest thing to a 4D, because if you put your hand on a 2D world, 2D people will see the tip of your finger as a shape-shifting object. Because their line of vision is a sideway 1-dimension line since they live in a 2-dimensional plane, and as your finger passes to the paper, the tip of your finger shape-shift in size, appearance, and shapes through 2D people perspective. That logic could apply to the 4th dimensional shape-shifting tesseract, but for time, it's just common sense since 1 to 3D or group of 3 spatial dimension and time can change those 3 spatial, sometimes. Now for the main part of this video, halves, or decimal if that makes more sense. For 1.5D, it's a little tricky to define that dimension because if you cut a 1-dimensional line in half many times, it will still be a 1-dimensional line. So it's infinity, yes and no, it's unlimited but if you cut it until its limit, which you can't, it will be a single point. So is 1.5D a single point? No, because a point is smaller than a line so 1D is now a point and 1.5D is a line now. Same applies for 3D. 3D is a cube and 4D is a tesseract shape which closely resembles a cube in a cube. So 3.5D is a point in a cube. Now for 2.5D, 2 dimension is a square and 3 dimension is a cube. But we draw 3D cubes in a 2D paper. It doesn't pop out like a 3D cube. It's on a paper which is 2D and you can't really make a 3D shape on it. So 2.5D is a cube in a 2D world without width. Done. Now for 4D, 4 dimension, which I mentioned before, is time and a tesseract. Both of them are different things. They are different properties of one thing. So it's separate apart from each another, but time is more powerful than a shape. So time gets to be 4.5D and 4D is a tesseract. We're done with the main dimension. Now for the dimensions that we humans don't understand. However, Science File the IE can help you with ascended dimensions. 5D are dimensions that falls in one category of dimension which you can freely travel any of it. It's like billions of universes, but you can only travel all the universes that falls in one category. Now, with time as a half for 5D, we can safely assume that 5.5D is 5D but with time. 6D is 5D but it's not one category, it's any category you want. 6.5D is 6D with time. 7D is literally every single possible dimension you can find. You're not finding it, you saw it all. 7.5D is 7D with time. But it's not because 4.5 is also a dimension. But it changes a bigger dimension. That means time can change time. It's technically impossible because time cannot change itself. It's not a being, it's a thing. 8D is where all the dimensions are grouped in one thing, a universe. 8.5D is 8D but with time. And finally, the final dimension for this half dimension concept, 9D. 9D is literally anything imaginable and both possible and impossible at the same time. One problem is that we humans can't imagine what this is because it's beyond everything, not including nothing outside of the universe, which means that this is the natural limitation of what we can understand about dimension. Most of this are covered by Science File the AI. Well, actually most of what I said about 4D to 9D is by scientific philanthropist by artificial intelligence / intellectual. But not all of them. He already covered only about the whole number dimension and the even numbered dimensions are times. This video covers both half and whole number dimension and the halves dimension at times, which means that I simplify dimensions to smaller dimensions. Well anyway, we are done with all the dimension halves. The list is finished and the video is gonna be finished. Watch Science File the AI's 11th Dimension Explained video for better understanding of dimensions and please subscribe.